Hi, hello and welcome everyone to a new video. This video is about my league starter, which is gonna be Inquisitor Armageddon brand. And how did I come up to this conclusion to do this? Well, I played in the Gauntlet this league and I did this. And not this, but Armageddon brand Inquisitor. It was different, it was a bit more defensive, but the damage was so terrible, and yet I still managed to climb to red tier maps super smoothly, no issues whatsoever. So having my damage multiplied more than 10 times now, it's like almost 20 times, okay, like 15 times more damage than before. I think that would feel very nice, okay? But for people that need a little bit more guidance, I have some step-by-step passive trees here. I have some gem setups here as well. Hopefully that helps. But with that out of the way, let's dive into the build. Like and subscribe. So the bad things about the build, the cons of the build, we have no spell suppression. Initially, I was planning to get spell suppression. In the Gauntlet setup, I was going for spell suppression, and, well, that got nerfed, so that's no longer an option, and I don't think going for like 50% spell suppression is worth it. So just don't do that. Then the next one is we don't have giga damage with low investment, right? So like other builds, other like trap mine skills, they can go to like 20 million damage on probably similar investment, but I like brands. Okay, I really liked the playstyle. So having 2 to 5 million passive damage where you don't have to stand and cast or attack to have that damage going, I think it kind of compensates for that. So it's going to be fine. I don't think damage is an issue whatsoever. But the third con is the mechanical thing. It's a delayed damage kind of thing, right? You cast a brand, it attaches to an enemy, that happens quickly, but then the ball has to drop physically to the ground to deal damage, and enemies can move out. And just, you know, just the delay in itself doesn't feel nice. But we have means to target that. So we can scale cast speed, hit rate from Swift brand support gem. Right, that gives a lot of activation frequency. We also have a helmet enchant that gives activation frequency. So there are ways to make this feel better. But the main thing, a very simple solution, that is just going for a mapping setup, which is Swift brand and faster casting in your links. And that gives you a lot of hit rate, so that means that your orbs are dropping very quickly, the delay is very small, and it just feels nice because you have 8 casts per second. That is very nice, okay? That is very nice, and we don't have... Well, okay, we do have an investment into cast speed. We have cast speed on rings with minimum frenzy charges, so a little bit of cast speed on the weapon. We could get more, that would be nice. But this is, yeah, this is without focus mods. Focus mods give even more. Like if I click focus, boom, oh my god, damage. Right, and then if we swap to DPS setup, boom, oh my god, look at this. Okay, anyway, so yeah. It's fine. I think it's gonna be fine. I was playing with almost 1 hit rate per second less in the Gauntlet, and it was already okay. Like mapping was fast. I don't know. I didn't have an issue with it, but now I'll have 1 more per second. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing with haste on Divine Blessing. It's gonna be great. Right. So let's talk about what's great about the build. So Herald of Ash. Oh, I love heralds, dude. I love herald explosions, and especially because I have some pretty MTX, and yeah, that keeps me playing. Honestly, like if we have heralds in the build, I'm playing it and I'm having fun. Next, we have easy gearing. We have easy access to resistances early on because we're taking these nodes. That's 24, and then that's another 8% resistances. It's just good. It's nice. Right, it helps early, helps later. It's great. Then we have great sustain, like actually double regen and life leech. Look at these numbers. Look at these numbers, dude. I love regen, and this is Inquisitor is nice. So yeah, 75 block. Yes, it is glancing blow, so it's not the block, but it's great nonetheless, and it synergizes rather very well with the Heist Shield, Transferred Attuned Spirit Shield. Sap enemies when you block their damage. So that gives us a little defensive boost here. It helps. It helps. And 75, yeah, that's consistent, right? If I drop this, then we go to 38, and technically that increases the effective hit pool, but I think glancing blows is the way. I think I might be wrong, but I think this is the play. Now, next one is we have good phys mitigation. As you can see here, this is our tankiest side, right? We're the most tanky against physical hits. And that is due to endurance charges and armor and stuff like that. But endurance charges, look at that difference. Having and not having endurance charges, that's a massive deal. So how do we get those? We get Enduring Composure from the small cluster jewel. That also gives a decent amount of armor, so very helpful, very useful. Next, 80 reduced effective curses on you. With a flask, we can get complete immunity. That's pretty much just Inquisitor from Consecrated Ground scaling. We have Shock, Freeze, Chill, and Ignite immunity. We get the endurance charges, so that allows us to get cannot be ignited while at maximum endurance charges. Then we get a Megalomaniac with the Wrapped in Flame and Righteous Path. So this is a bit of reservation. This is cannot be chilled. This also gives you cover enemies in ash on hit while burning. So Righteous Fire makes us always burn, which means that we get a hefty damage buff. It doesn't break the build if you don't have it, but it's very, 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 very efficient and very nice. Freeze and Shock, right? So Shock, we get Tempest Shield. Tempest Shield gives us a buff that gives us Shock immunity, and then Freeze immunity. Well, that's just Pantheon, right? It is an upside that you can move while still maintaining your damage, because it's brands, right? So the gameplay, the playstyle of brands is that you can attach them to your enemy, and they will do their thing while you just run around like a headless chicken. So that's great. And then, yeah, so the brand recall, every 2 seconds, we can bonk this amount of damage times 7, because we have 7 brands. So imagine 9 times 7, that's like 6 million bonks per 2 seconds. So like you can add 3 million per second damage here, pretty much. That is a lot of damage, right? Now we're looking at some pretty good numbers. That's with focus, but that's 4 seconds, and we can cast that pretty much 2 times. So that is pretty nice. Even just without focus, this is what, like 4.9 million every 2 seconds. That's still like a lot of damage. So definitely not gonna be struggling with damage, not gonna be struggling with defense. So I think this is a pretty well-rounded build, something different to do, and pretty enjoyable to do as well. So the few key mechanics that I should mention here is we go Pious Path, Inquisitor, we get Life Regen, also apply to Energy Shield. So we double the regen, right? We have 2000 Life Regen, 2000 Energy Shield regen from that, and that makes us very, very, very regenerative. And then we combine that with Mind Over Matter and Eldritch Battery. So in the later setups, we have Eldritch Battery from the helmet, Devouring Diadem, but until then, before you can get that, you just go for that on the tree. I have stuff set up here, and it's fine. You just have to drop some stuff, but it's fine, right? You can play that until you self-farm, or you just buy it, whatever, and then you swap to the goodie, and it's great. So basically how it works is that we take 40% of our damage taken, we just transfer that damage to mana, and then mana is protected with the Energy Shield, and Energy Shield has a shit ton of regen. So this is pretty much like a Timeless Jewel effect, you know, the Corrupted Soul, I think it's called, where you split the damage 50-50 between life and Energy Shield. So you get to do pretty much the same thing, but a different ratio for the split. It's very powerful on Inquisitor. And it also allows us to not care about unreserved mana. It allows us to not care about mana regen, reserve more stuff with less investment into reservation. So it's a very, very nice synergy, especially on Inquisitor. And yeah, that's pretty much the build. There's nothing crazy going on. No hidden secret tech. We get a leech from the cluster. There's this that I guess I could mention. So nearby enemies are chilled. This would be the perfect third notable on a Megalomaniac, because it will slow the enemies down. Then we also have implicits on gloves that hinder enemies. That's 30% reduced movement speed for enemies, and that helps with the you know, the Armageddon brand dropping on the enemies while they move. So if they're slowed, even if they're moving slowly, your Armageddon brand will keep hitting them. Whereas if they are fast and you don't slow them at all, they will just like for example, a Juicy Essence, for example, right? So you don't want to tank a lot of those essences, especially in high tier maps, so you probably want to move. But if you don't have any slows, the essence will just catch up to you and brands will be hitting nothing. So then you have to tank, or you have to slow the enemy enough so that they move, and while they're moving, your AoE still hits them. Unfortunately, I don't have any good footage to show you for this build. I only played a scuffed version a little bit in the Gauntlet, and the Gauntlet had reduced damage taken everywhere. So if you are curious to see how this performs before playing this, or if you want to just dive into this journey with me, I will be streaming this live every day from the league start on twitch.tv/Shaxu, and you can see the link somewhere over there. And yeah, hopefully you have a good league start, and catch you in the next one. Bye.